Okay.
This meeting is being held in conformance with the Sunshine Law. Notice of time, place, and date has been furnished to the Bergen Record and the Ridgewood News. Notice has also been posted on the bulletin board of the administration building. The clerk kindly take the roll.
Mayor Giordano.
Here.
Mr. Brennick.
Here.
Ms. Saracola Drake. Here. Mr. Martinello.
Here.
Mr. Ricci.
Here.
Mrs. Weber. Here.
Everyone kindly stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We'll just have a moment of silence for all our Waldeck veterans and all veterans across our country who have given the ultimate sacrifice so that we are allowed to assemble the way we are and live in a country that is free. Would the clerk please do the prayer?
We thank you for everyone gathered here now. Thank you that you know each of us by name and have caused us to walk with you. We say that we are dependent on you and our trust is in you completely. As we surrender ourselves in adoration, we ask that you would come by your Holy Spirit and inspire our hearts today. Come fill our lives with your love, fill our conversations with your grace and truth, fill this meeting with your presence. We ask this for your glory and praise. Amen.
Amen. Tonight I asked Pastor Cha from the Waldeck United Methodist Church to come to this meeting tonight so that we could honor her. Tonight we are honoring her because she is leaving. After 7 years with the church, she is moving on to become pastor of two other churches, one in Montvale and one in Boonton. We're going to miss her very much. She was always the one that was always here for us for our 9/11 ceremony. Now we have to find someone else, and hopefully the new pastor will be able to help us. But Pastor Cha has always been great to the borough. Whenever we asked her to come around and do something for us, she never said no. Matter of fact, if I would forget to call her and tell her about the 9/11, she would call me and ask me, am I going to be there tonight? And I said, oh, I forgot to tell you, but of course, please come. So she's been a great asset to our borough. We appreciate her ministry and the positive impact that she had on our community. We thank you for everything you have done for Waldwick. We wish you all the best in your new assignments, and may God bless you in everything that you do. On behalf of the Borough of Waldwick, the Mayor and Council, we would like to present you with this plaque as a token of our gratitude for all you have done. You could take this with you, and you could always remember the Borough of Waldwick, who loves you so much. It reads, Reverend Cha, Senior Pastor, United Methodist Church, in recognition of your faithfulness, commitment, and dedicated service in delivering God's word and love to the Borough of Waldwick and its residents. Presented June 24, 2025, Waldwick Mayor and Council.
Thank you so much for your kind recognition. It's truly honored and humbled. Yeah, this town is actually my kind of a hometown, especially for my children. I've been here 7 years, and I was so happy to be here and involve the town and all the town events, and so I will always remember, and then this town will be kind of my spiritual home forever. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, I will continue to pray for all our town and the committee members and you.
We need a lot of prayers.
And then all our people who part of this beautiful, wonderful town of Waldwick.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We're going to take a minute break, and we're going to thank, everyone can thank the pastor, and then you don't have to stay for the meeting. You can At this time, we're going to have Bruno Associates speak with us, and our administrator will say a few words about them.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So as you all know, we recently contracted with a new grant writing firm, Bruno Associates. So tonight we have Joe and Rob, our representatives, who we've already started working with over the past couple weeks. So tonight it's just an introduction, and they'll catch you up on where we're at with some current grant opportunities. We have a couple approvals on the agenda tonight, so you'll see those and give you the opportunity to ask any questions of them. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephen. Thank you, Mayor and Council, for the opportunity to present. We're very excited to start working in Waldwick. As you can see on the report that we provided, we've already started and hit the ground running with a few different applications. One we've submitted already for Hudson Avenue to the NJDOT for municipal aid. And we have a few other applications in the works, Local Transportation Projects Fund, as well as Safe Streets to Transit. Those are NJDOT-oriented grants. And as of right now, we're planning on applying for West Prospect Street from Maple to over by the pool, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. We've had the chance to meet a lot of your professionals, Stephen, Kelly, Tatiana, and it's been great to get to know you on a personal level, and also understand sort of what the borough's been dealing with its grants and its management. And as I understand, you had a previous grant manager who I'm sure probably did other things, and but I'm here to let you know that our grants and grant management and grant writing is exclusively our role. So we're here to open lines of communication from the council to hear, your vision of the future for the borough, certain projects that you would like to see funded, and local priorities that, we can help supplement with grant funding. We're here to serve as a force multiplier for your administrative staff to ease the burden on reporting and compliance as it relates to various grants. And this report that we've provided will include grants that we've submitted, but also awards that the borough actively is managing, just to kind of consolidate everything into one form so that finance, administration, the council can see everything in front of you in one report. If you have any questions for us, I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have about future funding opportunities, projects that you might have in mind, that you'd like us to, research programs for that, you ultimately get funded through grants. So,
Did you ever look into, we have down in Borough Park, we have the baseball fields, and in the back of the baseball fields, there's an area there that to get to the different fields, it's all gravel. And we do have an access for all group here, and anybody in a wheelchair or with a walker and a cane has a hard time getting to the fields because of the gravel. Is there any way we could get some type of grant money?
Sure.
So that we could do something about it, and then I will let the Access for All people speak with you, because we're
Yeah.
very active with them, and we want them to be a part of everything we do.
Yeah, absolutely. ADA compliance is a critical part of any project. That's just something that, we understand. And I would say that Bergen County Open Space is always a viable opportunity for parks and recreation, park development. So that's something that would certainly fit the bill. There's also state grants through the DCA, local rec improvement grants that don't require a match. But I'm interested to hear more about the project and gather more details and work with the Access for All committee to make this happen.
Yeah, maybe we could set up a meeting with you.
Sure.
I mean, if you go into our Borough Park, and maybe one day we could take you into Borough Park and you could see what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
I mean, if
absolutely.
you go there, it's all gravel.
I just walked
know-
on West Prospect Street
years
before
ago,
to
we
take
tried to
pictures.
do this, and it just didn't go anywhere. But now we have an Access for All, and they're very active in our community, and I'd like to see them be able to participate in everything. Because one of the women on there's husband was wheelchair bound. Unfortunately, he passed away, and she's very active in making sure that everything we have is all handicap accessible.
Yeah, not a problem.
Yeah, thank you. I have just a few questions. So I think for some of us, water infrastructure is like a key issue for the borough. So anything you can do to help us get grants that can, invest in the improvement of the, not wastewater, but actual, like drinking water, I think would be key. We've been talking a lot about traffic easing measures, so if there are grants available to kind of help us put sidewalks in on, heavily trafficked areas, or crosswalks, signage, things like that, I think that would be, the ambiance is now turning into real feedback. But that would be helpful. And then, do you ever see boroughs collaborate with other kind of government entities? We have a sewer authority in town where we have like an odor issue, so maybe there's opportunities for us to collaborate on grant applications for remediation of the smell. I think things like that might be.
Okay. Yeah, quality of life issues are always,
100%.
excellent, grant strategies. So, yeah, that's absolutely something. I would like to have a closed session, or to have a meeting with, the council to, hear more of your ideas, and maybe a less informal setting, so that we can, really get into the nuts and bolts of what you guys are looking to do, and what kind of projects and where. So that way we can, put the rubber to the road and start to get a lot of applications submitted, and while we help clean up some of the administrative tasks that are associated.
I think that would be helpful. And then, as we start to plan for budget for next year, which, we probably should start thinking about, when do you start to get a handle on anticipation of funds from grants throughout the year?
So it really depends on the program, whether it's a county, state, or a federal grant. Usually, a rule of thumb after a federal application is submitted is, 6 to 8 months. Could be sooner, but I would say usually at most probably 6.
Okay.
State grants a little bit, probably follow along the same timeline, so it really varies depending on, usually when the program is announced and we gather information on the solicitation itself, they'll say, anticipate awards being announced by X date. So usually by the time we apply, we kind of have an idea of when the awards are going to be made.
So in other words, if we want to try to anticipate grant funds for next year's budget, we probably need to get pretty aggressive now at applications, or they'll come in, after.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I think, getting out in front of a lot of these projects, anticipating when deadlines are opening. What I like to do is have these kinds of conversations with no deadline in mind,
Yeah.
so that you can sort of freely express, your thoughts on the projects, and we can hone it into a really strong proposal. So, we can start talking about applications that are due next year, tomorrow. It's really just getting the work done, getting the information needed to fulfill the application requirements, and working towards that end. So, I'm interested to hear any and all opportunities that you guys might have.
We set up a session maybe for everyone to try to drill into these areas and in the near term. So, with the 6 to 9 months timing in line, timing in mind, we should probably do that sooner rather than later.
I think one other project that I think we're all looking forward to too is last year we acquired that property on Wyckoff Avenue that we want to use for open space or parkland or something there. So definitely keep that in mind as we're looking at grant opportunities, tying that into what we can do at Borough Park in our parklands for the kids and the residents and the seniors in town. So that's another one that's big for us.
Excellent. Okay. Anyone else?
I just had a quick question. So this list that we have, are all of these new grants that we haven't previously applied for?
So at the top are applications that we're currently working on. As you'll see, there's deadlines that are, within the next week or two. So those are ones that we're actively working on. There's been projects identified, so that's been working with Stephen, working with Boswell Engineering, and now working with the fire department for staffing inadequate for fire and emergency response, which is designed to help volunteer fire departments recruit and retain volunteers. So this goes towards like maybe lawn signs or a recruitment video or anything that can kind of make the fire department more visible to volunteers and make it more palatable for people to join. With fire prevention and safety, that's more of, outreach to the community, dissemination of public information for, to seniors, people who are at risk of fire hazards. Let's see what else we have. Firehouse Subs, that's a foundation grant. Age-friendly, that's more for programming for seniors and planning. But the ones that, as you see further down, applications submitted and pending, that one we had just submitted. And then the ones under awards under administration, that was a list generated in conversations with Stephen, just to kind of get a feel for what awards are out there that the borough has. so that you remain in compliance, you don't fall out of the timeline, that you're meeting certain project milestones as you have this award.
Thank you.
Yep.
Anyone else?
Yeah, lastly, Mr. Mayor, more of a procedural question than anything else. I think all of us sitting up here have got some idea or something that we wanted to talk to you about moving on to the future. But I also don't want you to be bombed by all of these people. Do we have a single focal point that we should go to and have that forwarded on to this gentleman here?
Steve.
So we talk to him, you talk to him.
Yeah, if you want to funnel it all through me,
Yeah.
I've been in pretty much constant contact for a
Yeah.
while now with these two guys, so.
Yeah, usually administrators are sort of the clearinghouse of information from the council as it relates to what we do, but, you know, I trust that Stephen is relaying those in our conversations. So just, I wanted to show you my face and Rob, who will also be working with me, and I'll hand out my business card so that, you know, we can, you know that we're here and we're here to help, so.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Steve. I just think if you push that with the, push that back in, it probably isn't all the way down.
Thank you.
And then just move it over.
Thank you so much.
Hi, how are you? Yeah, I'm good. Thank you.
Happy we brought you guys
Thank you. Same here. We'll see you again.
How are you? Yeah, I do. Good to see you. Yes. Thank you, Steve.
Just want everyone to know that we are tonight on Microsoft Teams. We have Tatiana and Steve both working with it. When Steve gives his report, he'll explain how everything's going to be done tonight with this new program that we're starting. Under my report, just a couple of things. First of all, I attended the ECLC School of Ho-Hocus, their 8th grade graduation. Anytime you go to that school, you always come out feeling very good about yourself. It's a very great school. It helps the students, it helps the families, and it's a great school that is in our, even though it's not in Waldwick, it's still in our community. Also, I attended the Waldwick 8th grade promotion ceremony, the Waldwick High School graduation. I attended the Chamber of Commerce meeting in which they handed out their money that they raised for the 5K, from the 5K. And then also I attended with Dan Marrow, the president of the school board, also Tom McCormick, who is, I guess, here tonight, the executive director of the environmental committee. We went to the Access for All committee, and we talked with them. Tom is going to be in contact with them. Dan was talking to them about their input about what the Board of Ed is doing with the fields in the parking lot, and the striping and how the handicapped spots are going to be. Access for All wants to be very much involved in everything that is being done in the town, and we have no problem letting them know what's going on. So as we start doing things with handicapped accessible, we will make sure that they're involved with everything that we do. Other than that, that's all I have. Financial and Administrative Committee, Councilman Ritchie.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good evening, everyone. How are you? I hope you're staying cool. So we just heard a presentation from Bruno. That is one aspect of kind of what I call the 3 pillars of trying to reduce our dependency on our surplus. So we're hoping that in next year's budget, it seems like timelines are tight, but we're hoping that in next year's budget we can bring in more grant money, and that will certainly offset that dependency, which is about $2.5 million roughly. The second pillar is expanding the tax base. I was happy last night. I attended a planning board meeting where the planning board approved the redevelopment project on Harrison Avenue. That certainly will help to expand that tax base, and I think we'll start to, kind of take some of that dependency away as well. And then the third pillar is non-tax revenue, which is things like fees, and we will be looking at that. The Finance Committee's meeting this Friday afternoon, and we'll start to take a deep dive into what those non-tax revenues are. As I've said in previous meetings, they've been relatively flat over the last decade at about between $4 and $4.5 million each year. And so as inflation increases, those fees should also increase. And that's, our costs go up, so costs that we put out to others should also increase so that we can keep our budget flat. So we've been taking a look at that. We'll try to benchmark against other boroughs. We're going to do what we can to try to address those. And, hopefully as we address these budgets year after year, we'll start to see that gap close before the surplus runs out. So I look forward to that meeting this Friday. And that is my report. Mr. Mayor, thank you.
Thank you. Fire and Police Protection Committee, Councilman Brennick.
Well, thanks, Mr. Mayor. Just a few items. Start off with the fire department is assisting the police department with the junior police program. Everybody's having fun. It's pretty hot out there, but nonetheless having fun. Over the past weekend, we had the fire department fireball raffle, which was successful, and congratulations to Jimmy Zambano for winning the prize. I also attended the Walden High School graduation. And I got to tell you that every year I go there, the faces change, but the smiles are the same. And it's just a bunch of very young people, very accomplished people, and looking forward to their futures. And so am I. And I have nothing else.
Thank you very much. Public Safety Committee, Councilwoman Saratola Drake.
Thank you, Mayor. The Waldwick Ambulance Corps participated in a water extrication drill with the fire department on June 12th. They also attended the car show on June 1st, where they treated multiple patients, so I'm glad they were there. They attended monthly joint training with Allendale VAC on 6/2, where the Valley medics gave an overview of their equipment. They also attended the graduation for the high school, and then they attended Crescent School Field Day. They also participated in the junior police department on 6/23, and they're standing by today per the police's request. They're also looking forward to attending Allendale fireworks on July 4th. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Recreation and Health Committee, Councilman Martinello.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I also had the pleasure of going to the Walbrook High School graduation. Like Mr. Brennick said, it was a great ceremony, very accomplished kids. The salutatorian and valedictorian were separated by 0.02 percentage points in their GPAs, which is amazing. We did get interrupted by a lightning detector, so that was a great experience to move to the middle school gym, but it was a great event. Also got the opportunity to attend the Trent School graduation for the 5th graders, so adding my congratulations to the 5th graders, the 8th graders from middle school, and the seniors in high school. Recreation side, Walbrook Baseball Softball Association finished up their spring seasons, and they're moving into summer travel. Good luck to the boys and girls playing this summer. Also, the Walbrook football program for junior football starting up their practices, and I know fall soccer is right around the corner, so a lot of great programs coming, along with our Walbrook swim team this summer. So a lot of great activities around town. On the health front, just encourage folks to check in on your senior neighbors, especially in this hot weather, making sure they're staying cool. If they need a cool place to hang out, find a spot for them to go. Just keep each other safe during this time. That's it. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Public Works Committee, Councilman Raimondo's in fire school. He has nothing to report. He'll report to us probably in July. Buildings and Grounds Committee, Councilwoman Weber.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I was also able to attend the high school graduation, which is always a great honor to be invited to that. I was also a graduate, and so was all my sisters and my uncles and aunt and my son. So it was always nice to attend that. I also was able to attend the 8th grade graduation, where my youngest daughter graduated from the 8th grade. As far as buildings and grounds go, nothing too crazy. We had a few hiccups over at the ambulance corps with their air conditioning again. Same thing last year. So that's going to be getting repaired. Also, they were having some issues again with the door. I noticed they were still parked outside, so I'm assuming it's still an issue today. Looking at some different options with some different companies to do some preventative maintenance in all the buildings, including the ambulance corps. I think there's 3 air conditioning units over there that seem to be an issue. And then the rest of the borough as well, just to keep everything on a preventative maintenance so that when it does get warm like this, we don't experience the hiccups, because that's where it ends up costing a lot of money for the repair people to come out and address those. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Borough Administrator.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a couple things to highlight. We're excited to have 2 awards for 2 large projects. The one for Lions Memorial Playground tonight, and the award for the improvements to Schuler Avenue, which also includes some extensive drainage work. So we actually held those pre-con meetings this morning, so we're ready to get those going. And then we have some other resolutions. We are appointing a new full-time dispatcher, which we greatly need, so thank you. We're looking forward to getting him going. And then we have a few authorizations for grant applications. So just to note, this resolution doesn't bind us to anything. There are no plans created for these yet. It's just simply to give us the access to apply when we're ready. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. You want to talk about Microsoft?
Oh, yeah. And also, this is our first run with Microsoft Teams tonight, virtual. So far, so good. Hopefully, the audience online can hear us. We do have a handful of people on. Just to note, when we get to public comment, you can raise your virtual hand, and we will enable your mic so you can unmute yourself. At that time, please state your name only for the record, just as you would in person. After you're done speaking, we will disable your microphone again, and you'll go back to just being in view-only mode. And please, when you sign on, please identify yourself appropriately with a real name. Otherwise, we will not admit you from the waiting room. Thank you.
Thank you. Borough Clerk.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to thank the DPW and the Police Department for their assistance with the primary election. They do a phenomenal job in getting us set up, and they put everything back together the next day, and PD is very well organized to get everything down to the county in a timely fashion. Also, we actually cannot do any of this without our super board workers and our board workers. They do an excellent job. They really do work as a team, and it really does show, because at the end of the night, we're able to go home, relatively early, and we know that everything is done correctly. The ABC license, there's a resolution on for the renewal, Resolution 2025-191. The license that are listed in that resolution, they've met all the state and local requirements for renewal. And then once this resolution is adopted, all of our licenses will be renewed for 2025-2026. Also, we have 2025-192 and 193. Those were dumpster permits. Those are to return the escrows. Mike, Superintendent Latore went out and found no issues, so that those escrows can be released. And just happy summer to everybody.
Thank you. Our camera crew, Tatiana.
Yes, happy summer to everyone. I think everybody realized in the past week that the pool is open, started opening daily this past Thursday. We have been inundated with registrations, which is great. Our numbers are up. We've got a lot of new residents who haven't been members in the past from Waldwick, non-residents, and of course we have Midland Park residents joining us as residents this season as well. So exciting to see everybody joining. The swim team has started as of last night. We've tripled in their membership numbers since last year. They were really concerned that we may not have a team going forward. So we had a lot of close conversations with our coach, whose resolution is on tonight, and our assistant coach, and we made a plan to make sure that they were going to have a robust team this season, and it worked because we are maxed out and have to probably turn away 15 to 20 swimmers who are interested. So thank you to Meredith, to Michaela, and all the volunteers who are going to help on the swim team. It's really cool to see all of the younger kids who used to swim become volunteers, non-paid volunteers, and then they evolve into big-time swimmers and they leave, but they've trained all the younger kids, so it's really nice to see. It's good to have them there at the pool. So it's been active the past 2 days, as you can imagine, probably hundreds of people there hanging out, so thank God we have that in town. And that's about it. Validation is going well. Continue to come in and see us here at Borough Hall. We've been nonstop busy, but again, the process for this year, while it is new, it is working great. So, all set. Thanks, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Rob Devaney, Esquire, for Borough Attorney Craig. Anything?
Yes, thank you, Mayor and members of the council, for letting me fill in for Craig this evening. The only item of note is that on the agenda, there's an endorsement of the housing element and fair share plan. which is to satisfy the borough's fourth-round obligation. The planning board approved that item last night, so once the council endorses it, we'll then file that with the program that the legislature and courts have set up, and once that's done, it'll protect the borough from any builder remedies, lawsuits, and maintain our immunity from that. Other than that, that's all I have. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you for being here. Consent resolutions and resolutions of the governing body.
Be it resolved that the following resolutions herewith listed by consent, having been considered by the governing body of the Borough of Waldeck, are hereby passed and approved. 2025-178, approval of consent. 2025-179, approval of minutes, regular meeting May 27, 2025. Policy votes A. Allison Daly requests to hold a block party on September 27th from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. with Burley Crescent to be closed with alcoholic beverages being served. B. Natalie Nashhold requests to hold a block party on June 28th from 3 to 9 with Central Ave to be closed between Waldeck Ave and Grove Street with alcoholic beverages being served. C. Irene Mulvihill requests to use Pavilion A on June 25th from 4 p.m. to dusk for a graduation party with alcoholic beverages being served and a DJ under Pavilion A. D. Warriors Football Club requests to use Pavilion A on June 29th from 4 p.m. to dusk for an end-of-season party with alcoholic beverages being served. E. Dave Iosa requests to use Pavilion A on July 12th from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. for a birthday party with alcoholic beverages being served. F. Nadia Certainture requests to use Pavilion B on July 12th from 12 p.m. to dusk for a birthday party with alcoholic beverages being served. G. The McLeods request to use Pavilion A and B on July 13th from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. for a memorial service with alcoholic beverages being served. H. Jessica Colucci requests to use Pavilion A on July 26th from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. for a birthday party with alcoholic beverages being served. I. Stephanie Rodriguez requests to use Pavilion A on August 2nd from 11 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. for a family gathering with alcoholic beverages being served. J. Lauren Ferguson requests to use Pavilion A on August 10th from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. for a birthday party with alcoholic beverages being served. K. Nicole Clawberg requests to use Pavilion A on August 16th from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. for a family picnic with alcoholic beverages being served. L. Diane Kramer requests to use Pavilion A on August 17th from 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. for a birthday party with alcoholic beverages being served. M. Appointment of Luke Feltman as junior member of the Waldeck Volunteer Fire Department. N. Appointment of Quinn Fowler as junior member of the Waldeck Volunteer Fire Department. 2025-180, endorsement of the Borough of Waldeck's Housing Element and Fair Share Plan. 2025-181, authorizing approval of Waldeck Volunteer Fire Department bylaw amendments. 2025-182, authorized renewal of the group life and accidental death and dismemberment insurance policy for all eligible employees through Metropolitan Life Insurance Company. 2025-183, award a fair and open contract to Green Valley Group, Inc. for improvements to Lions Memorial Playground in the amount of $327,465. 2025-184, award a fair and open contract to Fort Cleanup for improvements to Schuler Ave in the amount of $201,641.45. 2025-185, award a non-fair and open professional service contract to Boswell Engineering for Lions Memorial Playground Park Task 3 construction inspection in the amount of $40,000. 2025-186, authorize the Borough to enter into a cooperative pricing agreement with Hunterdon County Cooperative Educational Services Commission. 2025-187, authorize the submission of a 2025 Local Transportation Project Fund Grant application and execution of a grant contract with the New Jersey Department of Transportation for improvements to West Prospect Street. 2025-188, authorize the submission of a fiscal year 26 municipal aid grant application and execution of a grant contract with the New Jersey Department of Transportation for Hudson Avenue Section 3 improvements. 2025-189, authorize the submission of a 2026 Safe Streets to Transit grant application and execution of a grant contract with the New Jersey Department of Transportation for improvements to West Prospect Street. 2025-190, authorized borough auction. 2025-191, authorized liquor license renewals 2025-2026. 2025-192, authorized release of dumpster escrow for 36 Grove Street. 2025-193, authorized release of dumpster escrow at 12 Maple Avenue. 2025-194, authorized payment of terminal leave of retiring chief master as per employee handbook. 2025-195, appointment of 2025 head swim team coach and assistant swim team coach. 2025-196, appointment of 2025 pool lifeguards. 2025-197, accept resignation of Sumbal Nadeem as full-time communications officer. 2025-198, appointment of full-time communications officer Douglas Rosenberg. 2025-199, cancellation and refund of taxes for block 163.08, lot 15.25. 2025-200, redemption of tax title lien 23-00631. 2025-201, payment of vouchers. And this morning, we added 2025-202, accepting a donation of trees from a resident.
Do we have a motion and a second to accept? Motion by Mr. Brennick, second by Mr. Martinello. Anyone on the question? Indy, can I ask you a question about the 2025-181, the bylaws? Everything all right?
Absolutely.
Everything all right with that?
Yeah, I was going to comment
Oh,
on that
good.
in just a second,
Go ahead.
but that's fine. Mr. Mayor, we went over the bylaws, the changes and the amendments to the bylaws over the past month. I believe we also had a review from the borough attorney. These are relatively benign things, and I see no problem with moving forward on them tonight.
Good.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
as long as I still have the floor,
Absolutely.
I'd just like to formally welcome Luke and Quinn into the Waldwick Junior Fire Brigade. I wish them the best in the future. Thank you, sir.
Okay, also, on July 12th and July 13th, we have a lot of events going on in Borough Park. Could we just make sure that on July 12th, after the parties are over, that the DPW gets in there and cleans up the place for the other family on the 13th? This is a young man that passed away in our borough, and his father is very active, the Access for All, and they want the community to, come pay their respects and celebrate his life. And I have a little, how they want the chairs and the table set up, so if I could work with them with this.
Yes,
And also
absolutely.
I asked permission, and I should ask the whole council, that we waive it a $200 deposit for them that they have to put down. I mean, this is something the man died very suddenly, and it's the least we could do with the town. Is everybody all right with that? Yes. Okay, great. Anyone else? Okay, clerk, please take the roll.
Mr. Brennick?
Yes.
Ms. Sarah Drake?
Yes.
Mr. Marnello?
Yes.
Mr. Ritchie?
Yes.
Mrs. Weber?
Yes.
Okay, we have one public hearing. Would the clerk kindly read ordinance number 2025-16?
Ordinance number 2025-16, an ordinance to amend Section 1 entitled Establishment Membership of Chapter 20 entitled Police Department to increase the number of patrol officers from 13 patrol officers to 14.
Okay, anyone from the council would like to comment? What this is doing is that right now, as it says here on our ordinances, we have that we are supposed to have 13 police officers. We're going to make it 14. The reason why is that the police department is trying to set up a traffic safety division, and this new police officer will concentrate mostly on that. There's a lot of safety issues that we want to, fix up in our borough, and to have one police officer do this is very important for the police department. He'll also be aiding in other parts of the police department. Anyone else from the council? Nope. I would then close the council's comments, and anybody from the public that would like to comment on this ordinance that was just read. If none, I close the public's comments and ask for a motion and a second to pass this ordinance on second reading, and that the clerk be authorized to advertise it in local legal newspapers required by law. Motion and a second. Motion by Mr. Brennick, second by Mrs. Weber. Clerk, please take the roll.
Mr. Brennick?
Yes.
Ms. Sarah Drake?
Yes.
Mr. Marnello?
Yes.
Mr. Ritchie?
Yes.
Mrs. Weber?
Yes.
Okay, we have no introduction of ordinances. Any unfinished business from the council? Yes.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have just 2 items for unfinished business. So, the first one, I'll go with the harder one first. So, it's hot and it's humid, and I opened up my sliding door this couple days ago, and my entire house filled with the smell of raw sewage. So I just would like an update on where we're at with the sewer authority, and can we see the results? Because I think it would be good to look at their H2S readings and to challenge that.
The results, I tried to go to the meeting the other night, but I was at the graduation ceremony. I did put a call in twice to Mr. Danubio. He did not get back to me. I think he is on vacation, but I'm not sure. The last time we spoke, they're working on that. They're also working, they said that a lot of the complaints that came in, when they monitored it, it wasn't sewerage, but it was mulch pit. So they're working on that. I think they spoke with you about this also. Also, what they're doing is they hired another engineering company to come in and they're working on like phase 2, which would be planting trees all around the perimeter of the sewer authority that they feel that might help with any problems that are happening. Once we speak with Mr. Danubio, he will tell us what's going on. He also did tell us that there is a little bit of a problem with their water down there. So what we're doing is we are going to have him be part of our committee for the water, so that if he has any problems, he could help us with it, or we help him with it. We didn't get that deep into what the problems are down there, but as soon as he gets back to me, I will let Steve send an email out to everybody before our meeting, so that everybody knows what's going on with the sewer authority.
Yeah, so thank you very much for that update. Just to, I personally don't believe that it's mulch. I believe it's sewage. We're fortunate that we now have a new business coming into the Boston market. I think we heard them at the planning board last night, and they intend to have outdoor seating. There's no way that's going to be, it's not going to work out. You cannot stand in that parking lot without smelling the raw sewage, and it is just continuing to spread. So I would like to be at a meeting with the sewer authority. I would like to challenge what their approach was to the H2S levels. I think that we can probably pick some holes in how they did this, and I think I continue to urge that we get more aggressive with the sewer authority. I had a chance to connect with our state senator in District 39, Holly Schepisi. She is working with a group that has a pilot program for sewage smell remediation, and she has offered for Waldwick's site to be the pilot study for the implementation of this remediation. So this would be no cost to the sewer authority, complete upside to the borough. I'd really like to schedule a meeting with not Mr. Danubio, but the head of the entire sewer authority, the county commissioners that oversee it, the county executive that oversees everything in the county. I would like to be there so that I can refute any of the shortcomings of their scientific H2S readings that they performed over the last 6 months. I'd like to see that data. I think like a lot of residents, we're really just kind of, it's just getting old, and we're like so fortunate we have a business coming into what's been a vacant property for so long. I want it to thrive and survive, and we need to attack this. So what can we do as next steps here? Because I think,
Your next step,
I think they're just dragging us along.
Your next step is you should go to the meeting the third Wednesday of the month.
So I'm going to reach out to Senator Schepisi and ask her to schedule a meeting that I'm going to be at. If anyone would like to attend, you're more than welcome, but that's going to be my approach moving forward. So the second is the water. I think probably be in the best interest of the town to schedule a town hall on kind of everything that we've done. Let's pull the projector down, let's take them through slides, let's take them through what this organization that we've hired has found, kind of what our remediation steps are. I think there's a lot being done, no doubt. The borough's working very hard, the DPW is working hard, Steve, you're working hard, but I think that there's a gap in knowledge of kind of everything that's being done. So anytime someone has brown water, they automatically assume the borough doesn't care and we're not doing anything. And so I think if we can close that knowledge gap, it's gonna help us a lot. So I think it would be great to get that on a schedule, separate from a council meeting, just come up here, do a town hall specifically on that.
Do you want to explain this with him, what
Sure.
we did already? Sure.
Yeah, just to follow up on that, we had a committee meeting on the 13th, I believe, and we talked about just that. So the goal for this summer, what they want to do, they're working on, putting everything in the model. They're just about ready to be able to present that. So what we would like to do, since it's summer, is actually hold a virtual session, probably on Teams, just like this.
Sure.
This summer, just to kind of get everyone caught up as to where we're at, what they've been doing, and actually present some hard data now and go through the map and, inform everyone of what we're actually looking at and kind of what the next steps are. Then after summer, we want to do an in-person, more robust, formal town hall meeting. And the virtual meeting, we'll record it, we'll share it out on all our platforms, just so everybody has that knowledge, could access it throughout the summer. And then, by the fall, we'll really bring everything together and present it fully.
So we think like July, we'll be able to do that virtual meeting after the 4th sometime?
I think so. That's kind of the goal we discussed, maybe mid to end of July.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
Steve, I have a question. The mulch pit, we control that?
We do, so it's our property, but we have tenants who run.
So if the sewer authority is correct, and it's the mulch pit that causes that smell, do we have any remedy with the folks that run that? Can they do anything to control the smell that's coming from the mulch pit?
So they do have some parameters that they have to work under. They're not allowed to turn it all the time. They're not allowed to take in a certain amount, operations, things like that. I don't have those details in front of me. But yes, we do have oversight of that. And we have noticed that we've gotten a couple complaints recently from the mulch pit. When it's really hot like this, obviously vegetative waste will give off a pretty distinct smell too. So
Is that Joe who monitors that and would have to go there? Or is that?
It's kind of, we have a pretty good deal set up with the Public Works, so our DPW superintendent usually reaches out to the owner of the company, and we go from there and address it. I took one complaint this afternoon, actually.
So one way to get to the bottom of it is to just reduce, what do we get out of that mulch pit?
Off the top of my head, I'm not entirely sure.
One way is to just eliminate it, and if the smell doesn't go away, then we know it's the sewer authority. We can't eliminate the sewer authority, but...
The two different smells are very different.
Trust me.
They're very different, the smells.
Exactly. I know what raw sewage smells like. That's why I don't believe that what I'm smelling is...
Most people don't know what raw sewage smells like.
I don't know.
But the majority of the scent that comes from there during the day, especially if you're at the diner, is from the mulch pit.
It's from my backyard. It's not from the diner, so...
There might be another issue.
Trust me, it's the sewer authority. I believe it. And then I go, when I smell it, I drive to that Boston Market, the empty lot, right there, and it's just pungent. It's so profuse. You can go to the Mangia Pizza or the liquor store or where the old supermarket was, and you can smell it there. I think the sewer authority is just kind of dragging this along, hoping that we'll forget or hoping that we run out of steam, but it has to be addressed. This town it's just getting worse and worse and worse, and the businesses, even in this downtown, are going to start to suffer. Outdoor space, especially with this heat and humidity, is becoming untenable.
Anyone else?
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry, question.
problem.
My question's for Steve, the redevelopment homepage on the website.
Yes, so it is published. It is up. Yeah, just published it this afternoon, and just trying to tweak it a little bit more. Right now, you'll see there's if you go to waldwicknj.gov/redevelopment, it has the two redevelopment areas. Those studies are posted, and then the one adopted plan for the Harrison Ave project is also posted. What I want to pull in now is all the associated resolutions, like the public meeting dates, all that info, just kind of backfill it. But at least right now, you could get a quick snapshot of everything that's kind of happening.
Cool, sounds good.
Could we put, when they came and presented, this like a clip of that video? Basically clip out the video where they presented the whole project so people can, look at exactly what it is?
Yeah, we could do that, and that's why it's taken a little bit. I definitely want to fill this page in with a lot more detail, and now we'll have even more, just as, some of the planning board processes have happened. But, so at least we have some of the basics up there, and we'll definitely start to fill it in more.
Awesome. Sounds good. And then a related question. I know, Mr. Mayor, you were waiting until after the primary before we could all get together and discuss a broader redevelopment plan. So is there a status on when we're going to do that?
Whatever you want. You make that decision.
I'm ready whenever you guys are.
I'm ready.
Pick a date and we'll do it.
Tonight? Or we meet in
Next
July?
week after July 4th, whatever.
Yeah.
Sure. Whatever you want to do. What you do is just come up with a couple of dates. We'll see when everybody's available. And we could have either a regular meeting, or we could just have a special meeting, or we could just brainstorm in downstairs.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah, just reach out to Steve and let Steve know what the dates are.
Yeah, we have kind of everyone's thoughts, but I think we want to take it the next step is what I'm gathering.
Is it easier to try to meet just when we're all here already and try to do it either before or after the next council meeting?
That's fine with me. Sure. The 15th, right?
July
Yes, I
15th.
believe so.
July
yeah.
15th.
Unless you want to make the meeting 7 o'clock instead of 7:30.
Yeah, that works for me, yeah.
And just for the record, the reason why I didn't want to do anything until after the primary was because we were still worried about the Harrison Avenue project. And I didn't want us to talk about visions of the borough when we still have a project that's still in the hands of a planning board, because I didn't want no votes being swayed either way. And I thought this would be the right way to do it, but unfortunately, I got just bombarded and disrespected by a lot of people about the decision. And if I was wrong, whatever. This time, I'm not apologizing. Anybody else?
We also pushed the sewer authority comment, so.
I only pushed that. Anybody else? Any other new business?
I have some new business.
Sure.
So I have to say, the new Chase Bank looks amazing. I was concerned when we had yet another bank come in, but it really does spruce it up over there. I love it. What I think it also does is really highlight the gas station across the street. Now, let me just say, I love that gas station. I try to get all of my gas there, but it does look like a junkyard right now. Is there a way with all of I mean, there are just dozens of cars that aren't being moved. They look like they're kind of immobile, broken down, and it just is piling up more and more over time. Does our ordinance address, does it address what's going on there at all? And if not, is there an appetite for us to address the ordinance to try and remedy the situation?
Can I comment, Mr. Mayor?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so it is on our radar. Our zoning official has spoken with the owner in the past to try and get it cleaned up, get some of those cars out of there. A lot of them, some do turn over a lot, so we do keep an eye on it, but there seems to be some that are not moving as much anymore. So it is on our radar. It's covered by, they do have some parameters in their approving resolution also, so we're going to pull that together and take a deeper dive on it. So I'd say we'll start there and see if we could, get some traction. If not, I'll report back and maybe we'll go a different direction, if that works.
Thank you.
I'd just like to congratulate Luke and Quinn joining the junior fire department. 2 more young men that I coached when they were young. You're welcome, Andy. Was that like 5 now this year? I think I'm setting records.
Yeah,
But congratulations to them.
They're building a statue.
Okay, I can't wait.
Anyone else from the council? If not, the public, anybody from the public who would like to comment? Do you want to do the people on
We have somebody who's...
Microsoft, or you want to do the people here now?
You maybe let in-person go first and then do...
Yeah, all right, we'll do the in-person people that are here first. Anybody from the audience would like to come up and say anything to us, please come to the microphone, state your name only, not your address.
Jim Schultz. Just 2 questions. One, Steve, I appreciated the town running that radar tracker on Harrison Avenue. I'm just wondering when we get an answer back what the next steps are.
Yeah, I have to follow up with PD on that one and see what kind of data they collected.
Okay. And then second, as you said, Mike, last night, the planning board pushed forward that Harrison Ave project. My question is, what's the next steps now that the planning board sent it to the council? What happens next?
They didn't send it to the council. You're talking about redevelopment or the...
I'm sorry, the redevelopment of Harrison Avenue. Or it was approved, I guess.
It was approved. Now they have to wait the 45 days to see if anybody complains about it or protests it.
Okay,
And then it's up to the developers to do what they have to do.
Okay, now, do the developers come in front of the council at all?
No.
So how do we find out how they're gonna, and Mike, this is my sticking point, how are we gonna find out how this is being financed? Because this is my concern, because I've heard rumors it's gonna be a pilot program.
So I'm happy to answer. No one's approached us yet on a pilot for the project. As far as I know, they have to do that before any shovel hits the ground. They haven't asked for it, but if they do, then we'll have to go through the necessary steps to have that conversation.
Okay, because with a pilot program, and there's a whole bunch of things that, there has to be a cost-benefit analysis done with a pilot program.
Yep.
And I think you have a financial background, and Mr. Marnelli, you have a financial background, so we all understand what's in a cost analysis study. And that's what I'm interested to see. Because again, with a pilot program, none of that money can go to the school budget. And every year when the budget comes up in town, the council's very efficient at saying, oh, you know what? 65% of your budget is the school budget. And you guys wash your hand and you push it back on the school. So now, if this is low-income housing and someone moves in there with students, the school budget automatically goes up, and that project cannot fund 1 penny of it. Now, say you have 3 kids in there, and say they have to be sent out of district. Now you have 3 children with out-of-district money. Do you know how much it costs to send a child out of district? I would look at it. And I'm just saying again, and every time I get up here, I say the same thing. We better be careful how this gets financed. Okay, because the school's gonna take a hit on this. And I know in a pilot program, you can negotiate anything you want in a pilot contract. So if this pilot contract comes up, I would stress very much that you get as many people in the town involved in negotiating this pilot contract. Because if we don't, again, don't ever blame the school board for having 60% of a budget when you're going to be adding children there, and that school budget's going to immediately go up, immediately. So for the 8th time, if it's a pilot program, involve everyone in town that you can involve. Because I said to you before, Mike, this is your and Katie's project. It's going to sink you or it's going to make you. Okay? And my guess is you're hoping it makes you. And my guess is it's going to be very tough with a pilot program.
Michelle should talk to you about what happened in Hohokus.
Yeah, the Hohokus project there, they gave them a 30-year pilot program.
Yep.
Which makes no sense to me in Hohokus. It's a desirable area to live. It's not an area that was in Blythe. I don't get it, but 30 years, they're exempt for taxes for the school. And their school board, I've found they don't have a high school there.
Yep.
They send them all out of district, but they were able to balance their school budget because a resident passed and donated $10 million to their board of ed. So that helped out, but that's not a 30-year cushion for them. So see how that goes.
Yep.
Steve wanted to say something.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, so it's a great point. A lot of projects these days aren't getting done without pilots. We have not been asked yet, so that isn't before us. Kind of knowing all the redevelopment that is potentially coming to Waldwick, we've already hired a professional firm, Phoenix Financial Advisors, to assist during that portion if it comes before us. So right now, there is nothing before us at all.
Okay.
So if it comes that way, we are prepared. We have people ready to help us.
And we will let the public know what's going on.
Perfect, because you can look at the history of pilot programs. I think if you look into Meadowlands, they're having a debate, because I don't think they've been paid a penny, because everybody has a different idea of what 100% occupancy means, and that's one of them. So again, I'm going to say it 50 times. If it's a pilot program, keep your eyes open, because the schools are going to get impacted by this. And for them, it might be a card out to say, hey, we told you, don't complain about the budget anymore, because you put kids in there, low income, or any children in there, and now the school budget's automatically going up. So if you could do that, I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I think we're pretty collaborative. I think we would never make a move without involving the Board of Ed or something like that. And Katie and I happen to just very randomly be very close with a gentleman in Parsippany who's like,
Jesse, I've spoken.
Justin.
You know what
He's the poster child of anti-pilot. So we're very close with him, and we know all the pitfalls of it, and certainly will, I think, be in close consultation, because he's lived through so many of these, and he's...
In fact, I spoke with him about a month ago on it, to be
okay.
honest with you, so I got a little background from him and some other people, so I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank
you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? If not, do I have a motion to adjourn? Oh, I'm sorry.
We have
Online.
two on
I'm sorry.
Teams.
Go ahead.
All right, so I'll just state again, we have 2 who have raised their virtual hands. We'll start with Bianca M. When you come in, I'll enable your microphone. Just state your name only, no need for address. And as soon as you get the notice, you should be able to unmute yourself.
Hi, Bianca Morrissey, 135 Third Street. I just wanted to first say thank you for having this on Teams. This is fantastic for a lot of people, including myself, who was unable to make it today. I just had a quick question in regards to this open hall meeting that you were talking about in terms of the water. I know you said the very first meeting, would probably be opened as virtual. I just have some concerns in terms of, the residents that may not have access to attend virtually. If at all possible, if you can consider making that also in person, I think that would be great. I'd hate to have some of our residents left out of that opportunity to come and listen just because they can't access it, virtually.
Right, that's a good idea. Steve is writing it down, and we're going to probably do it the way you just said.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Next, we have Mr. Sanzo. You should be able to unmute yourself.
Is he still there?
He's still here.
If he can't come through, just tell him to give us a call and we can answer his question tomorrow.
Yeah, Ted, you should have the microphone button. If you click that, you should be able to unmute yourself. I'm going to disable you and we'll try one more time. You should have access again. All right, sorry, Ted.
You know what, could we maybe reach out to him and let him tell you what he wants to know, and then we give him an answer? Right? And there's no one else? Tatiana?
No one else.
No one else, okay. Do I have a motion to adjourn? Motion by Joe, second by Mike, all in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed?